Hello and welcome back to Pulsar Games. In today's video I've got a Deep Sea Synchron deck profile and I'm even going to throw a combo tutorial at the end. I played this at the UK Open where I was on stream round 2. I played at locals yesterday as well where I went 4-0, so it can do okay as well. But anyway, without further ado, let's get straight on into the deck profile. So we play 3 Deep Sea Diva. It's your basic combo starter. It's cracked on its own. 3 Neptibus to facilitate the Deep Sea Diva, and of course Dragoons to facilitate the Neptibus. As you see how it goes. We've got a couple more Deep Sea cards, Artisan and Minstrel. Only play one of each as you don't really want to draw them. It's not the worst if you draw the Minstrel. Artisan is not the greatest if you draw it, but you can still do some combos even if you do draw it. Play 1 Lapis Dragon, which you definitely do not want to draw. If you draw this, then it shuts off a lot of the combos, but there are still a lot of combos you can do. It just stops the Diva only combo, which is a bit awkward. Play 1 Mooling Glacier as well. But that's it for the water portion of the deck. As far as the main deck goes, it's the Deep Sea package. It's always been pretty strong. Neptibus is a custom card, you know. Mooling Glacier hits 2 cards. It's very nice. So we'll move that out of the way. We'll get onto some Synchrons. So I play 2 Jet Synchron, 2 Assault Synchron, 1 Revolution Synchron, 2 Stardust Synchron, and a Stardust Trail. So the reason we only play 1 Revolution Synchron is it's actually not that great in hand. As you'll see in the extra deck, there's only 2 targets, well, 2? Yeah, there's only 2 targets to actually make with it. And a lot of time you'd need a level 5 non-tuner anyway, so it can be quite difficult to use in hand. And the Diva only combo requires it in deck to send off Axel. And to facilitate that also, with the Stardust, we play 1 Stardust Illumination to search off the Stardust Synchron and also search out the Stardust Trail. The level modulation is very important too, as you'll see in some of the combos. Next we'll play some hand traps. So we play 1 Effect Veiler, 2 Draw Mopbird, 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Nibiru, and 2 Infinite Impermanence. So the ratios might seem a bit weird, but it's because we're playing Crossout Designator, as well as it cannot call by. So that's why I've got like 1-1 here. They're not the worst cards to draw. And to make room for these, we've had to cut down on the others, which also improves consistency a little bit on the hand traps, so you don't end up drawing like, you know, multiple ashes, multiple draws, that sort of thing. It'll still happen, but it's going to be less frequent than it otherwise might be. You'd like to see more, obviously, because it's hand traps, you need them going second, but it's all about space really and what we can fit in. I found these are the best targets to play for Crossout as well. There are arguments to play D-Barrier, but the only deck that should really come up against is Labyrinth. And if it's game 1, you're not going to main deck a D-Barrier, so you just get burnt out by that, you just take that L. And then after siding, you've got a different strategy to play into D-Barrier. And the rest of the deck is spells. So we've got 3 Small World. You know, makes sense, you want to search out your Deep Sea Diva. Play 2 Tunings. There's an argument for 3, and we were playing 3 at the start. However, I've cut it down for space issues and to fit in some of those hand traps, as it's better to have the hand traps for Crossout than it is to have an extra tuning. And I was in a situation where we started playing like 3 of all the Synchrons, and there was just too many tuners. And the last 2 spells are 1-for-1 and Foolish Burial. Pretty self-explanatory. 1-for-1 gets your Neptibus. Foolish sends any of your stuff in grave, you know, your Jet Synchrons, Stardust Synchrons, even a Rev if you need it. It gets you going. So that's it for the main deck, and I think you can do a lot of powerful things with that deck. It's still not fully optimized. I think there are ways to make it better. It's just fine-tuning at this point. As for the extra deck, we play 3 Goyo Defender. This is needed for one of the Deep Sea Diva only combo. Play 1 Junk Speeder, kind of makes sense, it is a Synchron deck. Axel Synchron. Deep Sea Prima Donna. If you open just Synchron stuff, if once you get into Junk Speed, you're then later able to get into Deep Sea Prima Donna. You can then Trish them and then give them their banished card back with Donna in order to access Neptibus. And then you do Neptibus stuff, Minstrel them, add Mooling Glacier and hit some more cards. So you're able to access the water line just from Speeder as well. Play 1 Axel Synchro Stardust, 1 regular Stardust to facilitate this. It gives you an extra non-tuner body, which is highly important in a lot of the combos. Siphon Lord Omega to rip more cards. Play 1 Ravenous Croco Dragon, Architectus. Love this card, it's so good. So it comes up because of Crimson Dragon, it's a level 9, which means you can make Trishulers. But there's another reason as well. If you clear the board and they draw a monster, they can normal summon it, go into Typhon, and then it stops your entire board, as your usual end board is going to be something along the lines of a Baron, Disparter, and a Croco Dragon, and depending on which way you do the combo, you might have a few other cards. Whereas if you have Croco Dragon and you leave yourself with 3 cards in hand, if they make Typhon, you can then discard 2 to destroy the Typhon, and then you just, in business, you're just not caring at all, and then that way you don't lose to that card. So that's the full extra deck. You'll notice we are playing 2 Trishulers. So in the Loop 6 combo, you need to Crimson Dragon a Trish out on your turn, and then Crimson Dragon a Trish out on their turn, which is really funny. In the Loop 4 combo, where you just have just Deep Sea Diva, you Crimson Dragon 1 out and then regular Synchro the second one. It's how you can loop a lot of cards. And with it being a water, it can actually facilitate the water count a little bit for Moonling Glacier, so it does help in that sense as well. And now, onto the side deck. So as I said before, Dimensional Barrier can be a little bit of a problem, but it's fine. You have other ways to go around it. So after siding, which we have a Megalo, an Infantry, I've got a Pancratops and some Fenrir's. As you can see with this, it's a strong go second monster lineup. So if we do get deburied, we now have a lot of strong stuff. We can access the Megalo and the Infantry via Neptibus, so we can access these all times to try and OTK them. I'll play the 3rd Drawn Lockbird, as well as the 3rd Crossout Designator. And then we just got a load more go second cards. We've got 3 Thrust, the Talents, Duster, Dark Hole, and 2 Lightning Storm. So as you can see, it's majoritarily just going second cards. As if you go first and you pop off, you will win. There is nothing that is going to stop you. A lot of people, if they don't fully see what you're going to do as well, because they might see Speeder and then they'll scoop. And then in game 3, they'll side things like Board Breakers, Evenly Matched Dark, Ruler no more. You can actually see that on the Round 2 feature match at the UK Open. My opponent did that, he sided Dark Rulers, Evenlies, and I'm just looking at his hand with Minstrel, and I do not care about these cards because they will not be there on my turn. So you want them to side things like Board Breakers. It happened last night as well at Locos, the Labyrinth player. Sided things like Super Poly, Lava Golems, that sort of thing. And I'm like, these are fine. They do not affect you whatsoever because you just hand loop all of the cards. So that was the side deck, and of course the full deck in total. So I'm going to have a quick break to tell you about our sponsors. So first off, we've got Kong's Cards. kongscards.co.uk, and if you use code TEAMKONG5, you will get yourself 5% off at checkout. He always stocks all the new cards, he always has pre-orders. He just recently restocked Age of Overlords, you can get those cards there. And I think he's only got a few of the Centurion decks left from Valiant Smashers as well, so you want to be quick on that one. And then another one, we've got Cardboard Concierge, and if you use code PULSAR5 at checkout, you will also get yourself 5% off. And that's for more high-end and collectible cards, so you can always have a look there. Links will be in the description with the codes that you can easily copy and paste. And we're back ready for a combo. So this combo is using just Deep Sea Diva on its own. So we've got 4 extra cards in our hand. Obviously I've given myself some good cards here. But the combo just uses Deep Sea Diva. It's going to loop 4 cards out of the opponent's hand, which we can represent their hand with these tokens. And it ends on a Baron, a Disparter, and a Croco Dragon, with the other 4 cards still in hand. So this can be the opponent's hand here. I'll put that there so we can see it. And then let's go. So we go into normal summon Deep Sea Diva. I'll put it over here so you can see it. Special summon out the Neptibus. And then of course, Neptibus effects send Dragoons to search the Dragoons. Dragoons will trigger, searching Deep Sea Minstrel. We're going to hold on to these for now because we need to do some synchros. Synchro into Goyo Defender. And Goyo Defender states, if all monsters you control, minimum 1, are Earth Warrior Synchros, you can then use this effect to special summon a Goyo Defender from your extra deck. And it's a soft once per turn, meaning it's a once per turn per copy, so you can use the effect in the next one to special summon another Goyo Defender. At this point, we're going to use the Deep Sea Minstrel to look at the opponent's hand and banish a card. So we'll banish the token. Deep Sea Minstrel will, sorry, not Deep Sea Minstrel, the Atlantean Dragoons will search a Sea Serpent, so we're going to search Lapis Dragon, which has the effect when it's added from your grave or deck to hand, you can special summon it. At this point, we're going to Synchro 4 and 8 into Axel Synchro Stardust, which lets us bring back a level 2 or lower Synchro tuner from the graveyard, so we bring back Deep Sea Diva. We're going to Synchro into a level 5, which gives us Axel Synchron. Axel Synchron lets us send a Synchron from the deck to the grave to alter its level, either up or down, so we can send a level 3 in Revolution Synchron to make it a level 2. With our level 2 and our level 3, we're now going to make Junk Speeder. And as we all know, Junk Speeder, which I'll put over here so we can see. Junk Speeder lets us summon out Synchro monsters from our deck with different levels, as many as possible. So because we only play one Revolution Synchron, we're going to summon a level 4, a level 2 and a level 1. Stardust Synchron's effect will add Stardust Illumination, which lets us send a Stardust monster from the deck to the graveyard, or if we control a Stardust Dragon, a Synchro monster, we can special summon it instead. So we're going to special summon a Stardust Trail. At this point, we're going to Synchro summon into Deep Sea Prima Donna. But we're not going to use the effects just yet, we're just going to hang fire. And now we're going to use the effect of Accel Synchro Stardust to special summon a Stardust Dragon and Synchro summon. We're now going to make a level 12 into Crimson Dragon. At this point, because we tributed Accel Synchro Stardust, we can banish Assault Synchro from the graveyard to special summon it back. And now you're going to Synchro into a level 9, and we're going to make Croco Dragon. This will let us draw one card because we use one non-tuner, so we draw, in this case, draw one third. We're then going to use the effect of Crimson Dragon and Ravenous Croco Dragon Architectus for a Trishula, banishing a random card out of their hand. And then we're going to use the effect of Jet Synchron, you discard the card we drew, just to show that, you know, you stab these 4 from the start. Make Jet Synchron, which we can then synchro with the Trishula into a Bestial Disparter. The reason we do this here is because we're about to use Deep Sea Prima Donna, which will give them a card back to their hand. And if this card is, say, a hand trap that we want to be able to negate, we can use Disparter to shuffle their other banished card that we just hit with Trishula to negate it. So at this point, we will use Deep Sea Prima Donna, giving back the Minstrel card, and then we will special summon Deep Sea Artisan from the deck, which will then mill a card, and special summon a level 4 Law Water from the graveyard. But in this case, we want to use Deep Sea Minstrel. And now we're going to use Stardust Illumination, which we can banish it from the grave, choose a Stardust monster we control, and modulate its level up or down by 1. So we're going to choose the Stardust Trail, and we're going to make the trail level 5. This lets us Synchro summon into a level 8, which gives us Ciphering Lord Omega, which will then use the effect of Ciphering Lord Omega to banish another card. Bestial Disparter, bring the Omega back, Omega effect again, banish another card. We're now going to use the effect of Stardust Synchron in the graveyard. We'll use the one we got off of our Accel Synchron, which is this one. Tributing Deep Sea Prima Donna to special summon it. We're then going to go Chainlink one Deep Sea Prima Donna to shuffle in one of the Omega cards back into their deck, so they won't get it next turn. And of course, Stardust Trail, because we tributed a monster, can special summon also. Now we're going to Synchro summon into a level 9, which makes another Trishula, and we're going to banish another card from their hand. And now we're going to use Revolution Synchron by milling the top card of our deck. Special summon it since we control a level 7 or higher Synchro. And it now becomes a level 1, which means we can Synchro with it and Trishula into Byron de Fleur. So as you can see, Deep Sea Diva on its own has loot 4 cards because we return 1 to their deck. So they've got just 1 card left in hand, which does give them 2 cards, which if they got like a Dark Ruler, sure they can do something. However, you have seen their hand with Deep Sea Minstrel, so you can sort of figure out which way they're going to go. Try and figure out very quickly which card they top deck. You have Architectus, so if we set, say, Imperm, because we know their hand, if they try to go into Starslayer Typhon, we can, you know, pitch 2 to pop the Typhon so that they can't, because Typhon will negate the Byron and the Disparter. Ignoring the Imperm, obviously, because this is just, we happen to draw the Imperm. So that way you play around Typhon, you've got a hard negate for anything, you've got a monster negate / pop, and if you do negate a monster, you can put the other Omega card back so they don't get it next turn. When it does come back round to your turn, you can draw. If you've been forced to use the Byron, you can then return it to then special summon any of your level 9 or lowers from the graveyard. The Omega will return, and then of course you've got Disparter effect, which can bring you back a tuner / non-tuner in the case of any light or dark, so you've got these to choose from, which will let you re-access the Byron de Fleur again for next turn, so you can destroy it, tap for game. So it's, yeah, as you can see, it's very, very strong. There will be more combos coming up. I'm going to get a friend to showcase the Diva Assault combo, since he did invent that one. This was my combo, he invented that one, so I'd like to get him to do that instead, since, you know, he deserves credit where credit is due. But anyway, thanks for watching. I've been Pulsar Games, and I'll see you all next time.